Hey, welcome back, guys. Snowfall's fourth episode saw the re-emergence of a major character out for more than just a family reunion and a renewed position within Franklin's flourishing empire. Things are about to get crazier than ever before this season, and this installment was just the calm before the proverbial storm. I'm here to break it all down in typical Top 10 WTF fashion. Before we begin, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and bell notification to immediately receive these videos. Also, big thank you to all of my channel donors. If you'd like to be the next one, drop $1 on that Cash App for us. And lastly, a spoiler alert is now in effect for all things Snowfall. Here we go. WTF moment number 10. No place like home. Sissy Saint makes her long-awaited debut this season, following her extended stay in Cuba. She navigates the place she once called home and accompanies those motions with flashbacks of simpler times, and harder ones as well. Sissy then takes a deep breath, preparing for the inevitable in due time. WTF moment number 9. Ghetto Quran. Jerome and the gang are shown stashing product at one of his warehouse locations when one member pulls up, bumping a funky hip-hop track. The crew marvel at the record's prominence, but are given cause to pause once the lyrics begin hitting a little too close to home. The track narrates much of the tragedies that crack rock has brought down on the community, and also calls out its greatest perpetrators, including Franklin, Khadija, Manboy, and Jerome himself. Unc then seeks out the mouthy MC. WTF moment number 8. The Raid. Jerome finally catches up with Maurice and retrieves his slanderous tapes chronicling his hood crimes. However, the confrontation is disrupted by a much greater evil. The LAPD, led by the perverse Officer Buckley, storm down upon the Project Collective. They raid their territory viciously, sicking dogs on the crew and violating their human rights in the name of law enforcement. This event sets in motion a dangerous state of affairs, especially considering Leon's reaction. WTF moment number 7. A proper reintroduction. Following the inhumane raid, Franklin meets with his crew in an attempt to pick up the pieces. An inconsolable Leon, scarred by the racial sins of the past, champions all-out war against the cops, much to the chagrin of every sensible body in the room. Then, the fury is postponed by Sissy's official return to the family. They embrace her with open arms, and her presence inadvertently reveals Franklin's secret baby on the way with Veronique. WTF moment number 6. America's Pastime. Leon meets with Avi and requests a litany of specialty weapons against the police for the prior raid on his community. Avi wisely tries to talk the hot-headed drug lord out of it, but to no avail. He ultimately capitulates to Leon's demands, promising to return once the items are ready to go. WTF moment number 5. Kicking under the table. Franklin hosts a dinner in honor of his mother's return. During the event, several questions arise about Sissy's impromptu return, and Alton by extension. Sissy maintains that Alton's death was a direct result of his sins against Teddy McDonald, who she assures was the culprit. After exchanging a bevy of dirty looks, Louis urges Franklin to update his mother on Teddy's return, which he apprehensively does as a result. WTF moment number 4. Violence versus justice. Sissy pays a visit to Leon, who was noticeably absent from her celebratory dinner due to his loyalty to his people and principled stance against the police. She observes the weaponry recently obtained by Leon, and in her own way, provides wisdom to her extended son, similar to times past, where her love and insight calmed his emotional state. This alternative perspective seemingly does just that, and just might have saved Leon's life. Also, her words allude to additional warriors that could aid them all against those oppressive forces currently infecting Lee's spirit. WTF moment number 3. The eyes that don't see. In a rare moment to himself, Jerome reviews the tapes confiscated from Maurice prior to the raid. Reese's words appear to have a major effect on Rome's conscience, especially for his role in the drug trade and the subsequent lives lost as a result. He particularly keys in on the line, "He the uncle with the nephew, got eyes but don't see," a line insinuating his own blindness in the grand scheme of things. Also, he internally weighs his actions against the purity, or lack thereof, of his own soul. At least that's what his expressions convey. WTF moment number 2. A safe place. Veronique calmly confronts Franklin about Teddy and the potential danger he poses to his family post Alton's removal. She stresses the importance of safety heading into their new season and reveals a gun found in Franklin's books. Saint agrees with his wife-to-be and eases her concerns by ensuring he'd bolster his security past only Peaches, Black Diamond, and Dallas. And WTF moment number 1, orders to kill. Sissy meets with a mysterious newcomer named Ruben at a diner. Speaking in code in order to make sure everything is everything, the two establish contact with plans to extend it past this initial link. As their exchange progresses, Sissy makes her intentions clear. She wants to confirm Alton's true fate, ensure her family's safety, and Teddy McDonald executed. This final word shifted our narrative emphatically going into episode 5, and will certainly hold heavy ramifications for all parties involved. Some lingering thoughts before we end today's video. The title of this episode was Revolution, and it was significant for several reasons. Leon's growing angst with scandalous tactics of the police, Sissy's plot against Teddy and the CIA, Jerome's potential shift in perspective following Maurice's rap, and Franklin's budding cultural awareness due to surrounding events. Additionally, this episode primarily dealt with the return of Sissy from Cuba, a place which historically served as a revolutionary hub for a multitude of freedom fighters post-exile and fleeing this racist system. Sissy's return denoted an intent to fight long before her intentions were made clear in the epilogue. Franklin got a rude awakening in the realm of racial politics this episode, not only from the police invasion on Leon's territory, but from Teddy's reaction to it. His confirmation that no one cares what goes down in South Central and the attempt to keep his golden goose set apart from his own kind didn't sit right with Franklin. He's historically been a socially conscious individual, even though the nature of his street occupation contradicts his personal leanings towards the culture. Ironically, his foray into selling drugs in the first place was due to his frustration with Black compliance with the status quo and his people's perpetual position underneath the thumb of the regime. Saint's wealth has subtly been detaching him from these initial motivations, and the LAPD's rash move against his organization just may have been the spark needed to bring the Kingpin back to reality. What's the deal with Veronique from where you're sitting? Like Tanase before her, many believe the random counterpart to Franklin's romantic life to be nothing more than another agent against him. However, instead of being sent by the streets, she could possibly answer to a much higher authority. Due to her refinement, business prowess, and mysterious nature, I wouldn't be surprised if she was sent by the government herself. This perspective isn't unfounded. The FBI's COINTELPRO branch would regularly sabotage organizations throughout the 60s and beyond, and one major tactic would be to send an agent in the form of a romantic prospect, someone whose trust would go unquestioned so that the most information could be accumulated. We realize that Teddy and Franklin are currently at odds, and there's a lack of trust on Saint's end due to the disappearance of his father. Wouldn't it be in Teddy's best interest to keep eyes on his investment? We've already witnessed his prior surveillance attempt via the drop point. A woman would be the perfect candidate for a former agent seeking to regain control and maintain order. Veronique certainly wasn't a stranger to handling that firearm, a maneuver that previously gave away Soledad Caro way back in season 2, who also later exterminated, if you remember. I could be wrong, but it certainly is compelling. While we're on the potential treachery of Veronique, wouldn't it be something if her cover was blown by Sissy? The matriarch has spent some extended time in Cuba, and her time away has definitely made her sharper, as evidenced by her final exchange with Ruben. Plus, her renewed senses are unaffected by love and admiration, unlike Franklin's, and she'll be able to see things that her son either can't or won't due to his proximity to his muse. And finally, it's interesting how Sissy discouraged Leon from waging war with the LAPD, yet she's preparing for one with arguably America's greatest law enforcement body, and most insidious. The murder of Teddy McDonald would have a critical backlash on the entire Saint organization, as the CIA understands Teddy's role in Alton's demise through Havmeyer, though Teddy never explicitly confirmed as much. It's going to be wild as things progress. And that'll do it for this one. What were your thoughts on Revolution? Be sure to drop me your opinions in the comments below. As always, I thank you for watching today's video. If you liked today's video, go ahead and drop $1 on that Cash App for us. Hit the like button, share it with your friends who are fans of Snowfall, and subscribe for more content such as this. This is Rudy P. Magic of Rudy P. Magic Beats, and have a blessed one until the next one. Peace, y'all.